I've got an interesting phenomenon. I've got two ladies that are clearly in love with each other sitting on the park bench in front of me, because I'm sitting in my car dictating to you. And one's very blonde and one's very dark-haired. And they've moved now. They're totally sold on each other. And in a sense intrigued with, one of them at least, I think, slightly aware of the novelty that it might be to an older man like myself sitting in the car by the lake. And in a way it is. It's not that I haven't experienced seeing such phenomena before, of course, but I am fascinated by it. And in particular, something perhaps that they both realise too, in that there can be a purity of love and care and attachment and joy and happiness, regardless of, in this case, the gender of your partner. It's not something I've experienced, but I can certainly see they are experiencing such. And, well, for once I'm fairly PC. I'm not very politically correct in much. I'm not very religiously correct in much when I think of it. What I really think, as you can see from these amazing discourses that I've dictated here. But, well, I don't particularly appreciate the obsession with gender issues, but I do appreciate, in some ways, the discounting of gender being relevant to genuine love and kindness, care, concern, and relationship. After all, I worship God. I don't actually see him as male or female. In fact, if anything, I suppose, because I'm saying father, I'm seeing him as male, but I'm not really. It's just the pronoun. I don't want to say it. It's he. I could say she, divine mother, but, well, I'm following Jesus. It's divine father, not divine father, heavenly father for me. Well, perhaps that's the same thing, but I don't see God as male or female. I take the view he created them both, and that he's both. Does that stop me loving him? Certainly not. Makes it easier, really. Means he's got the qualities of both. As I see qualities as being gender tagged, which is, of course, they would say, a consequence of my society. I don't think it's just a consequence of my society. I think it's also a consequence of the significance of gender in the physical realm as well. That results in men having different qualities to women. That doesn't rule out all the influence of culture and upbringing and so on, of course. It doesn't rule out either the consequence of environment, pregnancy, when you don't get the right supply of, say, testosterone to the fetus at the right time of the child's development, and deprivations during childhood due to family breakdown and chaos and so on. And other majorly different influences, like having what's classified as mentally ill parent, or what's not classified as mental illness but very unloving parent, or worse, both unloving. And all the good too, it all contributes to how we manage in adult life and what attracts us and what doesn't. We're certainly not in charge of such. Many argue that we have a great freedom of choice. I tend not to. I take it that you are not responsible for the way your mind even handles choice, or how it feels about uncertainty, and didn't choose many of the influences that have affected your ability to choose and your values. In other words, I don't actually hold the individual responsible for in a very simplistic way. I don't hold them responsible for what access to God's mind they have. I mean, I do know that there are things to do that could, from my perspective, be of great value to them. But of course they might not be able to see it that way, or it might not be persuasive enough, given their experiences of living and being. And, well, I can certainly understand that. Does that mean I'm seeing relationships that are not simply between a man and a woman as being suspect? That would be nonsense. What about the relationship between parents and children? Or grandparents and children? Absolute loving care and joy and devotion is admirably possible, isn't it? And just what we want. Any two creatures that truly care for each other, well, that's a step in the direction of heaven, as I see it. Major step. Thank you, Heavenly Father.